Let's have a seat here. Okay, it's time for a real talk here. How y'all doing today? Today is oh my god, I wanted to say it was the 8th, but I think it's actually the 9th. Yes, it's January 9th, 2021. And I wanted to touch base with my subscribers and talk for a minute and say thank you for all your support over the past year. First, off and foremost, and especially thank you to my patrons who support me on Patreon, which I'm going to make more of an effort to support you back, and you'll see what's coming this year. It's going to be fun. I got some plans, and I've been really doing some deep thinking about the new year. And at the same time, there's part of me that's very torn, because with all the chaos going on in the world and in my own country, it makes it very difficult to focus on persevering and fighting forward in this in a future that I feel is productive for all people, that's helping my nation, that's helping my world. Something that I've always enjoyed doing on my channel was actually talking about important issues. And as cheesy as that sounds, maybe a lot of people don't find some of the issues I talk about important, which is totally understandable, because I have somewhere over 4,000, I think around 4,000 videos on my channel over the last 10 years. It's a ridiculous amount. It comes out to the equivalent of at least one video every day for 10 years. And in that time, I've learned a lot about people. I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot about what it means to be a human, a man in general, to be able to confront myself with, to putting my opinions out there. It's different than Facebook, for example, which I find toxic as hell. I can put my thoughts out on Facebook, but it's written. You don't see my eyes. You don't see the expression. You can look into my eyes and see the expression on my face when I say something and know what I mean by it, whether I chuckle or laugh. And I feel that text is so misinterpreted. So it's difficult to know what angle to go with on this. I originally wanted to just kind of point out something that would date it, with what's gone on all year with the protests and COVID. It's been bad enough. And then 3 days ago, we had a group of people completely invade the Capitol. And I have extremely mixed feelings about this. Because of that, over the last 2 days, I've written this paper. And it's several pages long. It would probably take at least 20 minutes or longer for me to read it out loud. I'm not sure, really, because sometimes I get into thousands of words. I tried to post it, but it was already over a few thousand words, so I know it's up there. But my point being that I enjoy writing blogs, and I have dozens, if not 100 or more of them, that I've written over the years, and a few that I've shared. Some of them have been something that maybe when I start my own website and I can start sharing these things on a larger platform, I would love to. But I wanted to say that a lot of the blogs I write I don't want to date them. I make it important. Things about being a human. Things that even if you read 20 years from now, you would understand and relate to. And I hate modern news and current events. But with what happened the other day at the Capitol, it's opened up a whole new can of worms that makes it hard to think about these other things. Because I realize these are the moments that I've been waiting my whole life for Americans to stand up for their rights and to go march on Washington. Unfortunately, when they did so, it was under the guise of a false election, having nothing to do with asking for demands, asking for certain freedoms or rights, or with a list of commands, but rather just a loose group of individuals who just wanted to say, we're going to take over, we think our guy won. And regardless of how you feel politically, being an American right now is very complicated, very difficult to really look at the future and say, okay, The only way to nip this in the bud is for the military to come in. When the military comes in, it becomes an occupation by our own military, something I also don't support. And so, sorry to kind of swing that direction on this video, but it's important because it's what's going on. It's what's going on in my life, and the rest of the world's looking at America saying, holy shit, your capital was under siege by a group of angry people, and nothing was done about it. I mean, sure, somebody was shot. I mean, of course, that's bound to happen when you're trying to break into Congress and you have all the, officials in there. I mean, senators, and it's absolutely absurd what happened. But as I was saying, I wrote a whole paper about it. I really plan on reading this out loud and sharing it with people, but I'm going to do it in kind of my own time, and it took me a few days to really process what I had seen. When I saw a black officer being backed up the stairs with his hand on his weapon but not drawing it, trying to hold back a mob of angry white Trump supporters, this image is just emblazoned in so many people's minds, thinking, imagine if that was a white cop and hundreds of, BLM protesters coming in. All of a sudden, anarchy has no real repercussions because it's for the right reasons. And that's what I saw the other day, was anarchy. And I never really thought I would see that in this country until much later, but here we are, and we're at an interesting crossroads. And so anyhow, I just wanted to say that I respect y'all, and I care about anybody who cares about freedom and understands that the Constitution protects all of us. I know that we don't all agree on all policies. I know that this new year is going to be interesting. I know that there's going to be a lot going on that I'm going to want to talk about. I'm going to make my best effort to not talk about anything too controversial or incendiary on this channel, for the reason that I know a lot of my subscribers don't want to hear it. And that's so, this video might be like my intro for the year. I have a lot of thoughts on my mind, and that's how I've always done my videos. This is all freestyle. I don't have any notes. So not all my videos are this way, but growing up in the time I did, seeing the things I did, having my own frustrations with the government, I really wish we could all come together for the right reasons. But I see that a lot of people are just stuck on this cult atmosphere. I've learned a lot about why people feel the way they do, and it's crazy. It's a weird world to live in. I don't know much what to say about it all, except remember this. The message I want people to leave with here is that your personal life is probably not as much affected as the media would have you believe. In other words, look around at your own town and what's going on. That's what's most important. Are you protected in your neighborhood? Can you survive with your friends and neighbors? Do you grow gardens? Not just for like apocalypse, but just how do people treat one another where you live? There are some really horrible places to live. But if you live in a decent area and you're watching the news too much, you might think the whole world's on fire. It's not necessarily that way. What is on fire is our mindset. And we need to kind of back up and retreat and realize that the world isn't as bad as they make it out to be. No, MAGA Trump supporters are not going to take over the whole country or anything. No, it's not like everyone is a member of a militia. But there are enough people who are really convinced that some politicians have their interests at heart, even if it's just Trump, that they're willing to act out on other people, and people are dying because of it. So if I don't speak out on it, then I feel like I'm doing an injustice to my own heart and mind. So that's how I feel about that. I really feel like, as I said over here, the American flag, I had somebody ask me that, what does that mean? I'm like, well, it's a distress flag. It means America's in distress. And that's where we're at. And I don't like talking about the country I live in. I want to talk about spirituality and Alan Watts and psychedelics and having a great time in life, but people need to discuss these issues, and if we can't do it rationally, we'll never survive. So thanks for listening. I appreciate all your views, all your listenings, all your ears, and lending me your time, and we'll definitely get more into this in the future. So, take care. Oh, as I said, we'll definitely get into this in the future. I probably won't be talking about politics on this channel. This is my main channel, the Carpo 719 channel that I've had for years. There's another one I've had for several years as well, at least 5 or 6, and I don't use it much, but the name of it is The End of the Anthropocene. The Anthropocene, like as in the era that we're living in. And I just renamed it that a while back, maybe a few weeks, a month ago. But it's my third or fourth channel, and it's not that I've had people say, you have these sock accounts or fake accounts. No, they all have my information in them. It's all the same info. I just don't, my intention was to have a channel that I could upload a few videos on, get a few subscribers, because you have to have a minimum to upload certain things. I needed a channel I could talk about psychedelics on, and drugs, and I needed one I could talk about controversial subjects on, and like politics, and not worry about, getting copyright strikes or having bad reviews or ratings because people are so upset about that kind of shit. So anyway, the end of the Anthropocene has one about like Jesse Lee Peterson, but I don't talk much about specific people. Anyhow, I'll get into that in the future, and we'll talk more about that. Thanks for listening, and hope you're having a wonderful new year for the first week. And I hope you are able to make a journal for yourself, or some sort of a New Year's resolution, or, I don't know, hold yourself to whatever bullshit standard we try to create for human beings. I don't know. I could probably go on, but maybe I'll just do a live cast later. We'll see. Be well, take care of each other, and I'll see you soon.